Happy Tuesday, everyone. You are probably looking at the screen right now going, what is going on? This is not Donna St. Louis. Who is this guy? For those of you that don't know me, my name is Doug, aka D Fresh in the FyreSavvy world, and I am the client concierge and mindset coach for FyreSavvy. I have the privilege of working with Donna St. Louis and Chanel Evans, our co-founders, and amazing, brilliant, badass entrepreneurs. And I have one of those as our guest today, Miss Joseline Jean-Louis Hardrick. Joseline, how are you doing today?
I'm awesome, and I'm so excited that you said my name right.
Yes. And I was very deliberate. I don't know if you could tell, but I was very
I can tell.
deliberate.
Yes.
And Joseline, I am so excited because first of all, welcome to the FyreSavvy family. We are so happy to have you join us. And I can't wait to have this conversation because we've talked a little bit behind the scenes and everything. And all of a sudden I'm learning more and more about you and what you do. And I'm like, oh my God, this is life-changing. So the first thing I'd love for you to be able to do is introduce yourself to the world here on our FyreSavvy channels and just share just briefly, who you are and what you do, and then we'll dive right into it.
Absolutely. So I am the Picture Book Pro. I work with busy, community engaged professionals who want to publish a picture book to elevate their brand, educate their clients and community while earning for their business. And even if you've never done creative writing, even if you have no artistic skills whatsoever, using my Picture This Simple Stories That Sell method is going to get you that picture book. So that's what I do.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And we were just talking a little bit ago, and you were sharing a story. And, we're going to talk about a lot of things here. We've got the upcoming FyreSavvy Sales Academy and your journey to FyreSavvy and all that. But the first thing I want to do, because I'm so excited to hear more, is, you just were sharing a little bit about a client that you just helped, and you showed me this book. And I'm just curious, could you just share that a little bit more? Because we didn't really have time, and I'm so excited about what you're doing.
Yes. So I'm really excited, because I just did the book reveal to my client this past Saturday. I mean, he's seen the illustrations, he's read the story, but there's something about holding this book in your hand, turning the pages and reading it. And it was powerful because his kids were there. He got so emotional. And he told me, you are the first person to tell my story in a genuine and authentic way that reflects me with no agenda.
Wow.
No agenda. Yeah. So this is called From Foster Kid to Football Star, the Brian Timms story. And Brian Timms is actually one of my students because I'm a law professor. He's one of my students, and 6'3", tattoos everywhere, big hair, fits right in on a football field, right? But in a law classroom, he stands out. But really hardworking guy. He has an amazing story. A lot of the stories already out there on the internet. He went from homelessness. He aged out of the foster care system and ended up living in his car in like South Florida. He was the type of foster kid that went from foster home to foster home. He ran away a lot. He was not able to reunite with his family. And he actually wanted to be a basketball player. So we have a little basketball in there representing that. He thought he was going to be Kobe Bryant when he grew up. That was like his idol.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he's doing all the basketball stuff, but he just never quite made it, didn't get recruited, didn't get, into a college. At 17 years old, he decides, I'm going to try football. Had never picked up a football before, but he worked so hard and he was so hungry, literally and figuratively, that he found his way into a college football program. He ended up in the NFL. He played for several teams. He played with Tom Brady and had a Super Bowl ring.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, amazing, right? And then he went to Canada, played with their football league and got their equivalent of a Super Bowl ring. I think it's called a Grey Cup. And now he's in law school.
Wow. What an amazing story.
It is. And when he was in my class, I didn't know any of this. He was just the kid in the class, sitting in the front, leaning in. Really, I could tell he was a hard worker. And I'm like, once he told me all this, I said, your story is amazing. Whenever I tell people about you, they are blown away. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm like, don't you realize all you've done? Like how many obstacles you've overcome, how many statistics you blew off the water. I mean, it's just amazing. And his goal is to help foster kids.
Oh, wow.
Law school. He wants to advocate for foster kids because he saw a lawyer. If he had a lawyer in his life, he could have had a chance at maybe reuniting with his family. If his mother had a lawyer, maybe she could have articulated, what was going on better. If he had a guardian ad litem or attorney ad litem, maybe he would have found a foster home that worked better for him. So this is what he said to me that really caught my attention before I wrote the book. He said, name one famous person who you knew was in foster care. One person, Doug? Yeah, no one comes to mind.
No.
They're out there, but they will not let you
they are.
know that they were in foster care because there's a lot of shame attached to it.
Right.
So he wants to try to take the shame of being a foster care kid away and motivate them. And so, I was talking to him about, man, you got to get your story out there, and what's funny is he became my client because a friend of mine, she met him. She's like, who's the tall guy with the tattoos and the huge rings? It looked like a Super Bowl ring, right? So everywhere he goes out, he wears the rings, and everyone's like, wait, what? And I'm like, oh, that's one of my students. She's like, well, what's that big ring? I'm like, oh, that's a Super Bowl ring. No big deal.
No big deal. It's just a Super Bowl ring. Doesn't everybody have one?
I know. I got one in the closet. So I shared the story just like with you. She had the same reaction. Now she knows I do picture books. She's like, you gotta write up my book. I'm like, well, we'll see. Oh, Colin Kaepernick was in foster care. Rita says that. And you know what's interesting?
Oh.
He knew Colin Kaepernick. They hung out together when they played football together because he played with the 49ers.
Really?
Yeah, they actually have a lot in common.
Oh my gosh. See, this is the thing. Like every time I talk to you, it's just like my mind is blown because you know all these things and I'm just like trying to wrap my head around it. And this is amazing. So you help people the thing I love is that you shared this, I think yesterday when we were talking, like you said everybody has a story.
Yes. Everyone.
And I love that.
Yeah. They don't just have a story. They have a children's book story in them.
And that's what makes what you do different.
Yes. And then, so what I'm really good at, my superpower is taking complex ideas and turning them into simple stories. Here's the thing about picture books. A picture tells 1,000 words.
Yeah.
So you can use less words and still convey a powerful message, Yeah. And, I'm telling you the story as an adult, you're like blown away, but how do you explain this to a child? So I had my son, I always have my son read my books. He's like my, critic, right? And he's my focus group, right? Like, okay, what do you think? What are your questions? What's going on? He said, what's foster care?
Wow.
It didn't even occur to me, and he's 9 years old. It didn't occur to me that he didn't even know what that was because I grew up with kids who were in foster. I had heard about it. But yeah, he didn't even know, right? And then he ends up homeless on the street. He was bullied and beat up, right? That's a tough thing to talk about with kids, but it's really important to raise their awareness about it, which is what Brian's goal was. He's like, he also told me, every time I share my story, people get so upset, they start crying, and I'm just, I lived it. So to me, it's just a matter of fact, but people get so kind of shocked, and then it kind of sucks all the air out of the room, which is not what we want.
No.
But if you put it in a children's book, you make it rhyme, it has rhythm, it tells a story, you have images. It's a lot easier for people to absorb that information, right? Because this story has all children's book stories, right? They have a happy ending.
Yeah.
So we know he's going through some tough stuff, but if we looking at the cover, he's like football star. We know it ends well. So it's easier for us to go through it. So the process with him was first I had to kind of get his story. So he told me a story. I did some research, because he was telling me bits and pieces, but I'm like, he has a Wikipedia page. So I went to the Wikipedia page. I'm like, wow, he has a Wikipedia page. Got all the teams he played for, all those things. Then decided which parts of the story do you want to include, right? Because the way I look at it is, you're a superhero. We have to identify your superpower. And then your book is going to be your origin story.
Oh my God, Jocelyn, I love this. I love this. Not only like how that process works, but you just said something that just resonated for me is that this picture book, just the way it's set up and the way a picture book is delivered and it lands, there's a hero's journey involved. You're the hero, and it always ends with a happy ending. And I'm like, oh my gosh, our world needs so much more of that right now. So,
Absolutely.
oh, it's so
Absolutely.
beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. And then what's nice is that everyone's story is their own, right? So
Yeah,
he's going to have this book. He's doing a presentation this Saturday talking about his life. He's going to use this book as a prop. It becomes something he can show and people can look at after his book. It becomes
right.
something he can sell to earn money to raise for his nonprofit for foster kids. It becomes something he can donate to libraries. He can donate to community centers, back to school book drives, and spread this very important message of foster kids in foster care are forgotten angels. A
Wow.
lot of them are troubled and they act out, but they're going through so much
Yeah,
and they need our support. So it's a way to raise awareness without blame or shame. But it becomes this vehicle that he gets to use to open so many doors now. And it gives him language to talk about this with all ages,
yeah,
right? And
yeah.
so I write, whenever I write children's books, I always say to, like this says to foster kids and the adults who love them, because I'm always talking to the adults through my children's books. So that's why this is an awesome way if you're a business owner to boost your brand, right? So the
Right.
process was, I said, we talked, we figured out his origin story and his superpower. So his superpower is just overcoming obstacles. No matter what you throw at him, he's gonna just overcome them, keep going. I mean, that level of
Yeah.
resilience is amazing. And so his happy ending is his Super Bowl ring, and law school. I mean, listen, I went to law school. I know so many lawyers and judges. They're like, if I had to do it again, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. I mean, you're sharing all this other stuff, and it's kind of like, oh, footnote. Yeah, he went to law school, and it's just like it just blows me away. I mean,
Yeah,
this is just amazing, amazing stuff. So
yeah,
thank you for
yeah.
sharing all of this. I mean, this is a lot to just wrap my head around, and I'm so inspired not only by his story, but by how you've taken that story and then helped him create this book that's going to change lives. And it's just, there's so many win-wins like all the way around in this. I love it. I love it for so many different reasons. So I have to ask you, because you've got my brain going in so many different directions now, but what, if you don't mind me asking, what was going on in your world that led you to FyreSavvy?
Well, I've published, self-published over 30 books at this point.
Wow.
I also
Okay,
have, yeah.
cool. I
I
didn't
also
know
have
that either.
yeah, yeah, and I have 30 written that I'm working on getting published. Um, so for a long time, although I had my LLC and the business structure, it was just an expensive hobby, right? And I'm like, okay, I think it's time to really start marketing, selling, but I just didn't know, it was overwhelming, right?
Yep.
And I'm watching all these people on the internet with books that are like mediocre, frankly. I mean, let me show you my illustrations because most of my illustrations in my books are like this. Look at the quality of this illustration.
Oh my gosh.
Look at those are his actual tattoos.
Oh wow.
That is
Yeah,
the
I
Super Bowl
love
ring.
it.
And then there's another great one that I love because I work with this great illustrator that I built a relationship with over time. So I'm able to do this affordably.
Oh,
I mean, look at that. The
that
stuff
is
that's selling
beautiful.
on Amazon does not look like this.
Yeah, right, right. No, that is amazing.
And then everyone who looks at my books, read my books, they're always like, this is amazing. This is beautiful. And I'm like, it is. So why aren't they selling? I can't. And I'm like, and I know I have a background in sales. Nothing sells itself. I know that. But I'm also a lawyer, a professor, a mom, a documentary filmmaker, a nonprofit founder. you know?
Just
So
a few things.
yeah, it was a hobby, but I feel like it is time for this hobby to be more than just a hustle, but to be an actual business that produces income. And I
Yep.
have been, I'm a community engaged professional. So I'm in all the things, I'm in all the boards, I'm on all the associations, and all this work is for free. And it's starting to like take away from the life I'm trying to create. If I
Yeah.
could generate income, I could still do those things and just outsource all this other stuff, all the cooking, the cleaning, the this and that, right?
Right.
'Cause it's not, I don't want to do those things. I'd rather not. If I could pay someone else, but I have to generate income to do that.
Yeah.
And so I'm watching people that I know who are also lawyers that I know in my legal community who are doing the jobs that I was doing, and now they're making 7 figures, 6 figures on what used to be their side hustle.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, hold on. And then you could tell the shift, right? There was a shift in their language, how they appeared, how they do events. And so I'm
Yeah.
like, who are they following? Who was working with? Who's your coach? And I started just peeling back some layers, and I finally got to Donna.
Ah.
The common thread was Donna. And I'm just like, this is the one. Because then I started to follow all the people who she's coaching, and I saw the fingerprints all over it.
Sure.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, but that was like a year and a half ago, Doug, because we talked like a year ago or something.
Yeah.
Um, just so I can have a sense of like, okay, what's my time commitment? What's the money? Because y'all need to get paid what y'all work because you are producing results. Everyone just seems so happy working with you guys, and so I had to get my life together, which I did. I got off all the boards, got off all these, so, because I'm a woman of my word. If I say I'm gonna do something, I did it. So I wanted to just conclude all those things, save up my coins so I could
Yep.
pay you guys. I wanted a fast start because I already have so much product and so many services. I just need to like get it together. And so what impressed me so much is that I reached out to you and you remembered me and you had notes. I'm speaking to Donna and Chanel. She said, "Let me get my notes." Yeah, for my notes. And I'm like, whoa, this was a year and a half ago. And they remembered. And then within 15 minutes talking to Donna and Chanel, I had the Picture Book Pro idea, and it's just been going ever since. Like, what? It's been a week, right?
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. It feels like a lot longer, but it's only
Yeah.
been like a week.
Yes.
And I love it because you have this background in sales, but I'm curious, you've piqued my curiosity. So you have this background in sales, but you were saying like, you checked into us like a year and a half ago. You and I had a conversation which led you to where you are today. What's different about the sales training that you had back in the day and about the process that you actually experienced by getting to know us and FyreSavvy? I'm just curious, like your personal experience. What was that like, and what was the difference like?
Yeah. So I started sales in my 20s. I was in financial services.
Oh, okay.
So I worked with like a big bank, big, international bank, two of them actually. And I've worked with small credit unions. So I was selling things like life insurance, mutual funds, mortgage refis, mortgages, things like that. And it's, I think, what Donna calls bro dude selling, or
Yeah, yeah.
she
Bro
calls it.
marketing, bro selling, dude
Yeah,
tactics. Yep.
yep, bunch of, the men told me how to sell like a man, right? And I just couldn't figure out why it wasn't working for me. And they're like, "Well, I don't know. You must not be doing it right." I said, "No, I think this is just not aligned with the way I want to engage with people." It was very
Yes.
aggressive. Keep calling people. My friends would stop picking up the phone because I was constantly calling them. They knew it was about sales. They were like, "Yeah, just talk to people on the street and just go, just go after it. Go, 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 go. Always be closing
Push,
that kind
push,
of thing."
push, right?
Yes, yes.
Ugh.
Um, yeah, it was icky. It was
It feels gross
annoying.
just talking about it.
Yeah. And then now after I became a lawyer, I had a financial services rep who I was working with, and it was a lot of that. And I had to like drop him because so many people complained if I ever referred him to someone, they always complained about that same over pushiness.
Yep.
Right? It's like you're a great person, but this pushy sales strategy is just making me uncomfortable. It just makes you want to avoid them. And so but it's the way I learned. So I'm like, I need to learn a new way because this is not going to work. Especially, look how blown away people are with the story of the books, right? You don't want to
Oh,
be pushy
yeah.
with that. It's
Right.
very personal, right?
Right.
So I'm like, I need a new way to sell. And just the fact that every time I talk to you guys, it was never a push. It was always curiosity based sales, which I love because I'm a very curious person. Um, I also hired Teresa Noy as my spirituality coach
Mm-hmm.
because I knew I needed to work on mindset stuff and really aligning myself with what do I enjoy. So she helped me focus more on the picture books And then so by the time I came to Chanel and Donna, I already knew that that was going to be the thing I wanted to focus on because it gave me the most joy, right?
Yeah.
And so if
Yeah.
I could do this all day and get paid for it, that's a win-win all around.
Yeah, and shout out to Teresa Noy. She's another one of our FyreSavvy family members, and she is brilliant, amazing. She's our radical self-love coach, and yeah, that is so cool that she kind of helped you tap into your passion and really find out like this is what I want to do. So I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing that story. You know, I am so excited for you, Just, because you haven't even had your VIP day yet with Donna and Chanel.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited for you because they're down in Montego Bay, Jamaica right now this week with Deanna Jean, the collab queen, another one of our FyreSavvy family members, and they're having their retreat down there. So Donna and Chanel are down there supporting Deanna. And so next week, you're going to have that VIP session with Donna and Chanel. And I'm just curious, like, what are you most excited about? You've had a meeting with them, but that was kind of that initial one. But now you're going to like go all in. Are you getting nervous yet? What are you excited about? I'm curious what's going
Oh
through your mind right
no,
now.
I'm excited because I'm already sharing the little bit I've been able to, piece together from just watching replays and little, and then the 3G event. By the way, gifts, gaps, and what was the last G?
Yeah, it's a 3G is our networking collab circle. That's the Success Tribe is Deanna's group. If you don't know about this, you have to check it out. Just search Facebook groups, go in and search the Success Tribe. That's Deanna Jean's amazing community. It's all about collaborations and networking to grow your make your connections and grow your wealth through authentic relationships. And we do twice monthly. Deanna does twice monthly 3G collab circles. And the 3G is goals, gifts, and gaps. And you had your chance to experience your first one last Thursday. So
Yes.
what was that like for you?
It was awesome, and I love that being a part of the FyreSavvy family means I get access to things like that because
Yes.
immediately I was able to get in the best meeting I ever had in my life. I mean,
Wow.
literally. And I sit in a lot of meetings. I've taught online for Zoom. I mean, I'm zoomed out, right? But I left that feeling great because I met several people that's like, wow, she's got what I want. She's got what I need. And I was able to help someone with a resource. They were like, I'm really struggling with this thing. I'm like, oh, I just started using this and it's awesome. And so, it can solve her problem immediately. And I just left feeling great. So, and it was people genuinely happy to be there.
Yeah.
Even if they felt like they had a gap, we just talked about it. And then, like I said, I helped to fill someone's gap immediately. Someone filled my gap. And everyone's very upbeat, happy, but not in a fake way. Because when I was in financial service, we do the rah rah, but it's fake. No one, don't actually feel that way.
Yeah,
and it was always
it's
all
so
the
genuine.
quotas and the sales boards. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. People like that, unfortunately, they would not like it in the 3G group because they would be the outlier and they would look like a fish out of water. It would be really bad for them because everybody else is so authentic and genuine and just willing to pour into one another. And I love the reciprocal aspect of 3G and everything. So I'm glad that you found it as energizing as I always do. Twice a month, it's a highlight on my calendar. I look so forward to that. So I'm glad it was a positive experience for you too.
Yeah, and you're really working with people. I think everyone's a genius. They just haven't figured out how. Just like everyone has a superpower, they just don't know what it is. And it's great when we go into a space where everyone knows what it is because they've been trained to figure out what it is, and so they can quickly offer each other what they need, right? So you just say, "I'm looking for something like this." I was like, "A tech person, I got it. I got all the techie stuff because I'm an efficiency person and I need stuff to get done and automated as much as possible." And then someone else is kind of like Rita was saying, like, I've had a book in my, in my head for so long and I just can't quite get to it. I was talking to someone at an event last night and someone who I just know online. And I'm like, oh, we get to meet in real life. And I said, how's your book going? Right? Because I'm the picture book pro. So
Right.
she said, oh yeah, it's going all right. I have a second one written, but it's not done. And she had this look on his face like it was overwhelmed. I said, hey, I can help you with that. That's my thing now. And she was like, okay, I'll keep that in mind. And so everywhere I go, I promise you, someone has a children's book or a picture book in them.
I love this because you're already demonstrating just how easy it is. You don't have to take the old dudish tactics, push, 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 and always try to be closing and everything. I love what you said about the curiosity-based approach. And for anybody who's listening right now, you can actually have access to this right now. There's a complimentary PDF you can download right now just by going to salessuperstar.net. And that is that 6-figure sales superstar formula. And that's what we're going to be breaking down in detail at our upcoming Sales Academy. It's the 6-week crash course, which is going to start in May. And I can't wait, because in that 6 weeks too, Joseline, I don't know if you know this, but there's a 21-day challenge. Have you heard about the challenge yet?
I've seen Chat 21-day challenge. So tell me more about it.
Yeah. So look at you.
I'm a podcast host too. I know, I'm a podcast host. I can't help it.
That was not planned, folks, but thank you, Joseline. Yeah, so what we did last time, and what I love about this is Chanel, our implementation queen, she is amazing at coming up with creative ideas to, and Donna as well, incentivize the behaviors that are going to lead to more sales. But we do it in a fun way. So that 21-day sales challenge, we broke everybody up into teams, and then Chanel had created all the different activities. We have a methodology that we use, and it's got 3 key areas, professional development, relationship building, and then income production. And all 3 of these things tie together to keep your sales funnel full. But Chanel did an amazing job of breaking these things down into fun, very actionable steps that you could earn points for. And then we formed teams, and then every week there was prizes for certain hitting certain marks in terms of the activities that led to those things. So everybody was totally into it. There was so much. Just so you know, Joseline, I think, are you a competitive person?
I am sometimes.
Okay.
With this, I'll probably be competitive. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, because you're going to be a part of a team, and it's so energizing, because, sometimes in the entrepreneurial streets, you feel a little bit alone sometimes. Yeah. You're not going to feel that way, because you're going to have tons of support, but I'm just warning you, there is going to be some smack talking.
Oh, listen, I used to watch wrestling, when it was WWF.
Back in the day.
With The Rock and Jake the Snake Roberts. And
oh my gosh, I remember them.
Yeah, I'm a smack talker. I'm from Brooklyn too. So
I love it. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. So it is such a fun thing to do. And so that'll be in the middle of that 6-week challenge and everything. And so you're going to get like all of the tools and the skills you need, and the mindset piece. And like you said, it's a curiosity-based approach. People can go and download that right now at salessuperstar.net. And there's a guarantee that comes with it too. So, I mean, it's like, okay, if you're ready to do the thing, like you were saying, like you knew it was time, and you were like, I'm sick of just doing the hustle and not getting paid my value. It's time to stop leaving money on the table and get paid what I'm worth, right?
Yes. And that's been the talk, particularly for Black women right now. Right? They're like, we are not getting paid. And then so on LinkedIn especially, I follow people, and I felt like I keep seeing that, but I'm not seeing the, like, what do I do to get paid?
Yeah.
Like, right? And so entrepreneurship is really what people are doing, because we're like, well, we're waiting for other people to pay us. Well, let's not do that. Let's start our own thing, attract people who like us, who recognize, listen, we need to pay each other what we're worth. And that's like, I told you, Doug, like, I'm ready to pay you guys what you're worth. I'm just going to save up my money.
Right.
And there's financing and using OPM, other people's money. I used to work in finance, so I know all about OPM.
Yep.
Using that responsibly with credit, because that's another thing we get scared of. Like, I paid off my student loans, $75,000 in law student loans. And so I took a lot of pride in being debt free. But now I'm like, okay, if I'm using debt responsibly, like I did in law school, right? And I know I'm going to earn the money and pay it off. That's another way to kind of access it, so that we can level up, give the product that people will love. They'll be happy to pay you for it. And then we will get paid what we're worth by doing things that we love, which that's what I love about the FYRE family, because that's what it's all about. And there's enough for everybody.
Yeah, it is it. Amen. You just said it. I'm like, yes. I love it. I love it. So Joseline, thank you so much. Before we sign off here, I just want to make sure, what is the best way for people who've been listening in, what is the best way for them to reach out to you and to connect with you if they want to talk to you more and have a conversation about, you know, turning that idea into a book, a picture book?
Absolutely. So on all the socials, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, I'm at JJ Hardrick, Hardrick. And then my website, any book that inspires, will take you there. You will see all my 30 children's books. You'll also see my the books I've written with my son. We've written 5 together. He's 9 years old. And his latest one is The
So
Code Whisperer. We're talking about selective mutism, which is something he deals with. It's a form of anxiety. Makes it hard for him to talk.
Oh,
So
wow.
we have a book explaining that.
And what was
Um,
the title of that one again?
The Code Whisperer.
The Code Whisperer. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
sounds
Because
fascinating.
he's gotten into coding classes and he's like really good at it, and it's helps him. His grades have gotten better. He's more engaged, you know. So it's like he found a way to speak through code, you know. So
Oh,
that's why it's
that's
called,
so
yeah. So it's a play
awesome.
on words. My other client, Dr. Lindana Morass, is on there. She's a family doctor who specializes in intergenerational health outcomes. So she has a book called Our Grandparents Are Different from Us, and it allows people to talk about their talk to their grandkids and grandparents about their differences as a way to start conversation around health. And so you'll see other examples of, you know, my picture book pro method. And I'm happy to chat with anyone. There's a link on there. You click on it. It says to book an appointment, and we can chat.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you. And I'm just curious too, like, you know, based on your experience thus far, if there's anybody who's thinking about like, FyreSavvy, maybe I have to check them out, you know, or maybe, the Sales Academy coming up. I'm just curious, based on your experience so far, what would you tell anybody that might be interested in FyreSavvy?
Oh, definitely set an appointment. Don't even wait. You know, download the PDF and take a look at it. Like I love information. I read quick, so I definitely downloaded it. But don't even hesitate. Get, you know, on Doug's calendar just to hear more about what they do. And definitely, if you can speak to Donna and Chanel. When I tell you, I spoke to Donna for 10 minutes and she had me figured out and had an offer already figured out. I said, "Whoa, wait a minute. Hold on.
What just
I've been
happened
sitting here
here?
trying, I know." And didn't even charge me anything yet. She's like, "Yeah, you can have that." Yeah. But they are so good at that. So what it did is it gave me a lot of clarity. So
Yep.
even if you're not sure, I think having a discussion with Doug or Donna or Chanel, anyone on the FyreSavvy team, will give you a lot of clarity and direction. So it's definitely worth your time. If you're looking for a fun way to build your business, definitely look into this. If you're looking to be supported, particularly by other women, because there's a lot of women in this group, and having that kind of what women are really good at, right? The collaboration instead
Hmm.
of the competition, the nurturing, right? Instead of the carrot and stick method that I've had in the past. If you've read all the business books and you're still like lost, like give them a call. If you're like, it's time for me to get paid because that's where I'm at.
Yeah, exactly.
It's time to get paid. You know, you especially if you're out there with those degrees, those terminal degrees, the JDs, the MDs, the PhDs, and the this and that. You know what I'm talking about. You have those 6-figure loans, and you have that job that you feel like just isn't cutting it, and you know there's this thing inside of you that can really help other people, and you'd
Yeah.
like to do it and build a business around it and get really paid what you're worth and paid off those student loans. You give them a call.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that, Jocelyn, because you're speaking to my heart in terms of like, we want you to take that gift and we want you to share it with the world and we want you to get paid what you're worth. And there's no reason why all of those things can't happen in a fun and enjoyable way with a community of people around you that is absolutely rooting for you every step of the way. So thank you for sharing that. That's beautiful. And for those who are wondering like, well, how do I talk to Donna? How do I talk to Chanel or Doug? If you download that PDF at salessuperstar.net, there will also be an opportunity for you. If you're serious and you're like Jocelyn and you're ready to take action and do the thing, you can get on Don and Chanel's calendar there. And if you'd like to talk to me, you can just go to, I know this is a tricky one, meetwithdoug.net. You can go to meetwithdoug.net and hit me up, get on my calendar. I would love to have a conversation with you. Jocelyn, this has just been amazing. Thank you so much for your time today and for being so open and sharing. I love the stories you shared. I've taken away personally so many nuggets, and I can't wait to watch this unfold for you. I'm so excited to have you part of our family. So thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Awesome. Well, have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right. Bye.